Yes, y'all. From the new Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas, it is Texas Football Today, a show with football next week.
Let's go.
That is a factual statement. We don't deal a lot in facts here, but I will tell you.
What a ringing endorsement for an internet
it's just show. It's the truth of the matter. It's true, right?
That's fair, yeah.
My name is Greg Tepper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine and TexasFootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us, whether you're watching us at TexasFootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or you're listening to us on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part. Support your local mediocre internet show. I'm sitting over there at the helm today, making us sound good. The Dutch of the Dorks, Miss 305. She's Ashley Pickle.
The Dutch of the Dorks?
The Dutch. Yeah. We're going to go with that today.
I'm not Dutch.
It's a Monday. We're going to go with that. Hi.
Hi.
You doing good?
Yeah.
Living the dream?
Living the dream.
Today is Monday, August 19th, 2024. 101 days until Thanksgiving. Again, we talked about this on the last show. I will just tell you that we can... The next time we come on the show on Thursday,
we'll be under 100 days.
We'll be under 100 days, and then it's time to get to work
on
Thanksgiving.
Time.
Then it's game time. Like, again, enjoy today, because starting basically tomorrow, gotta get going. Happy birthday, Pickle. You can wish a happy 54th birthday, a happy 78th birthday, or a happy 61st birthday.
61st.
Happy birthday to John Stamos.
Oh, nice.
You could have gone with Fat Joe, who turns 54.
Fat Joe is 54?
Fat Joe's 54.
Whew.
It's episode 1791. On today's program, friends, we're going to continue our series of TXHSFB ICYMI. Thank you. I will get better at branding. Or I won't.
Or you won't.
I'm old and I don't learn new things. But we will. We're going to get you up to speed so that when we get to game week, which is next week,
let's go. Then
you will be up to speed and ready to hit the ground running on Texas high school football in case you missed the entire offseason. Today we're going to talk about the teams to watch in 6A, 5A, and 4A, specifically our rankings, the preseason rankings according to Dave Campbell's Texas Football. We'll get into that. In the back half of the show, Matt Stepp at the THSEA Coaching School and Convention caught up with David Saenz, the head coach of the Cibolo Steele Knights, who may appear in our next segment.
Ooh.
To hear about what he's got cooking there in the Alamo City, we will hear from him coming up here at the back half of the program if you stick around with us. I want you to remind you about our production schedule here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football in the season. We are going to be here every day at noon, every weekday at noon, okay? Monday, Texas Football Today, myself and Ashley Pickle. Tuesday, Republic of Football, Carter Yates, Ishmael Johnson, Mallory Hartley, Mike Craven, the college football crew, getting you up to speed on college football across the state of Texas. Wednesday, mistakes were made.
Talking football.
Women talking football.
Myself, V&A Moreno, and Miss Mallory Hartley.
Women talking football.
WTF.
Begrudgingly, our most popular show.
And the best named.
Thursday, Texas Football Today. We're back. We're back on Thursdays.
We've never been more back.
And then Fridays, starting next week, not this week, but next week, Tep and Step, video preview, the video version, as Matt Stepp and I take you inside Texas high school football like nobody else. You do not want to miss that coming up. So that is our in-season schedule. We are here every day at noon for you, our friends and loyal viewers.
Yeah, we had to put Step on camera because I was getting just annihilated with emails and phone calls demanding.
Do you know what it was?
Matt Stepp's mug be on camera.
Like
I was getting scared for my safety because people wanted to see Matt Stepp so bad.
The ladies have demanded it. And look, we're just listening we are receptive to our female audience.
This is true.
Plain and simple. We'll give them what they want. Anyway. All right. Pickle, we are a mere 11 days.
That rocks.
From the 2024 Texas high school football season. 11 days from right now, there will be real, meaningful, actual Texas high school football games. I'll be at a game in 11 days. And we are working under the assumption here. I know a lot of you guys are sickos, and we love you. You're our sickos. But not everybody's a sicko when it comes to Texas high school football. Some people sit out the offseason. You know, there's other things going on. There's bouncy hoops and there's iced canes and, other things like that, other sports. That's fine. There's some big international event recently. But now it's time to get serious because now it's football season, folks. And we want to get you up to speed on Texas high school football. Across the state of Texas over the past couple of weeks, we have gone through and tried to get you up to speed on the biggest things so that you know what you're talking about when Texas high school football hits, which it will hit next week. Can't stress that enough. Really, I know I'm hammering this home, but it's because it's next week. And so we've talked about coaching changes. We've talked about realignment. We've talked about the best districts to watch. What I want to do now is just get down to brass tacks, and I want to talk a little bit about the teams to watch in every classification. Today we're going to do 6A, 5A, and 4A. And we're just going to run through our rankings, okay? Of course, Dave Campbell's Texas Football is the official rankings provider of the Associated Press, has been since 2019. We're very proud of that. Once again, we are going to be providing the official Texas high school football rankings of record across the state so that when you see like number 1 Carthage, right? Spoiler alert. Number 1 Carthage. That's our rankings. That's because Dave Campbell's Texas Football put that out there. And so we want to get you up to speed on what to expect and what we expect in the 2024 Texas high school football season. That doesn't mean these are perfect. Doesn't mean that they're exactly right. We're going to make some mistakes here. But
they're well thought out.
They're well thought out, and this is the preseason rankings in Class 6A. We'll start there with the top 25 there. With a familiar team at the top, DeSoto, the 2-time defending 6A Division II state champions, get the nod as number 1. Right behind them, their district bunkmate, Duncanville. Galena Park North Shore is 3rd. Austin Westlake 4th. North Crowley is 5th. That's a team we've got really high hopes for. Ray Gates' squad after last year's ball team. Humble Summer Creek, the state runner-up in 6A Division II from a year ago, clocks in at number 6. South Lake Carroll at number 7. Lake Travis, familiar to the big stage there in the Austin area, there at number 8. Atascocita at number 9. And Cibolo Steele, who's Coach David Saenz, we will hear from in just a moment, rounds out the top 10. At 11, it's Katy. Perhaps you saw them, their coach on the gatefold cover of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Spring Westfield is 12, even with a late coaching change. We're very high on the Mustangs. 13, COPPELL, Coppell Cowboys, number 13. Number 14, Fort Bend Ridgepoint. Number 15, Prosper, a team we've got high hopes for. Number 16, Klein Kane. Number 17, they're back, Allen. Keep an eye on them. Could be a bounce back year, big year for Allen.
That's odd to say.
Yeah. Number 18, the Woodlands. Number 19, Shadow Creek. Number 20, Bridgeland. Number 21, Rockwall. Another team with very high hopes, especially on the offensive side. Number 22, Dickinson, the Gators, a team to keep an eye on. Houston Lamar, the lone Houston ISD team in these rankings, clocks in at number 23. Austin Vandergrift at number 24. And then at number 25, Fulshire. Newly promoted to 6A, but a team that we have very high hopes for, the Chargers of Fulshire, big offense coming back there. That is our preseason Class 6A, Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Associated Press rankings. Let's roll into 5A. 5A, it's a familiar team. We'll do 5A D1, and oh my gosh, who could have possibly seen this coming? The Aledo Bearcats start the year number 1.
Never heard of them.
In Dave Campbell's Texas Football to start the year. Number 2, Denton Ryan, right behind them, their district bunkmate. That is going to be this is a really good Ryan team. I keep an eye on them. Highland Park, back in 5A, they are going to be very dangerous once again. College Station has become a perennial power in the Brazos Valley. They're number 4. Smithson Valley, last year's state runner-up from a year ago. They are clocking at number 5. Frisco Lone Star, they're at number 6. Richland, a team coming off of a breakout 2023 season. They are the number 7 team in Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Number 8, Abilene. Number 9, A&M Consolidated. And number 10, Port Arthur Memorial, the Titans. Port Arthur Memorial, a team down there in the southeast Texas area. We are very excited about that. Rounds out the top 10 in 5A Division 1. 5A Division 2, the reigning, defending, undisputed 5A Division II state champion, Port Neches Groves Indians start the year number 1, barely edging out their new regional bunkmate, South Oak Cliff. They're both teams in Region 2. Argyle, now moving up from 4A or still in 5A rather. Argyle is there at number 3. Alamo Heights.
The Mules.
Probably perhaps San Antonio's best chance to get a team into a 6A, a big school state championship game.
They're loaded.
Michael Terry, unbelievable. Alamo Heights, number 4. Texas High, we're very high on what they've got cooking out there in Texarkana. They are the number 5 team in the state. Colleyville Heritage at number 6. Richmond Randall, a team you need to familiarize yourself with. A team that I think is the favorite to win Region 3. Keep an eye on them. They're very, very dangerous. One of the very best young offenses in the state. Liberty Hill, the slot T is the devil. They are number 8 in this in 5A Division 2. Number 9, Melissa. Keep an eye on them. Last year, a bit, they take a step back. They graduate pretty heavy, but we're pretty high on Melissa altogether. And then Fort Bend Marshall, they're at number 10, rounding out the preseason 5A Division II top 10. Then move on to 4A. We're just going to do 6A, 5A, 4A today. We'll do 3A, 2A, 1A in private schools in our next show. But in 4A Division 1, Matt Stepp and I talked about this on our 4A preview on Tep and Step, perhaps the most wide open classification. Mm-hmm. But the team at the top is a familiar name, the Stephenville Yellow Jackets, to start the year. Number 1 in Dave Campbell's Texas football, bringing back a ton of big-time playmakers, including their quarterback, Ryan Gafford. The state runner-up from a year ago, Tyler Chapel Hill, clocks in at number 2. Remember, they lost to Anna, who's now up in 5A. They're in the state championship game. Frisco Panther Creek, they're in number 3. Salina at number 4. Keep an eye on them. Those are district bunkmates, by the way, in Panther Creek and Salina. Number 5, Kilgore, another team out there in East Texas. San Antonio Davenport, coming off of a breakout 2023 season, clocks in at number 6. Brownwood, Stephenville's arch rival, is the number 7 team lurking in the top 10. Number 8, Decatur. How well do they replace a guy like Nate Palmer? That's the big question for the Eagles. Number 9, Austin LBJ, back down in 4A. In my opinion, where they belong, because if you remember, Austin ISD made them opt up to 5A. The last alignment, they're able to stay in 4A, and I think that they have an opportunity to really make some noise. And number 10, the Bay City Black Cats. Big year for the Black Cats. Could be their best team in ages. We are very high on what Bay City's got cooking. And then in 4A Division 2, the number 1 team in the state, Carthage. Of course, the 9-time state champion there, Coach Scott Surratt, had a very young team last year, came up short to Gilmer, who eventually went on to win a state championship. We think that the Carthage Revenge Tour could be on here. Number 2, Gilmer, the reigning 4A Division 2 state champion. They ain't going away quietly. Caden Tennyson is a monster, and they have got a ton of really big-time playmakers. We're very excited to see what Gilmer has this year. Belleville, with a superstar defensive lineman, DJ Sanders, and outstanding running back, D.D. Murray, is back at number 3. Number 4, Glen Rose, perhaps the quietest back-to-back state semifinalist in the state. They've won their region back-to-back years, and they are very, very dangerous. It's time to start paying attention to what Glen Rose has cooking. Number 5, Wimberley, death taxes in Wimberley in the top 5. Brock, newly promoted to 4A. They are the number 6 team in the state.
And then they'll schedule super hard, and they'll lose their games, and then we'll get yelled at, and then they'll keep going up in the rankings.
Exactly right. Brock is going to be like 0-6, and
Here's the script.
And they're going to be like number 7 in the state. But Brock now up in 4A, but they're going to be very, very dangerous. Number 7, Pleasant Grove, graduate really, really heavy, but they have an absolute monster out there in Lance Jackson. Keep an eye on him.
He's still there. Goodness.
Yeah. The problem is, you knew him as a freshman. That's the problem.
Well, and his older brother was there forever. So we've had like 8 years of consecutive Jacksons.
I wrote the Lance Jackson cover boy story for the Dave Campbell's Texas football, and I talked with Coach Josh Gibson, and he just kind of talked about he was like, I'm just really sad that they didn't have more kids. Because
produce more.
Yeah, exactly right. Number 8, Waco La Vega, now dropping down to 4A Division 2. Keep an eye on that. This is exactly where they want to be, kind of lurking. They're going to be really, really good. Number 9, Graham. New coach Clay McChristian takes over for the legend Kenny Davidson there at Graham. How well can he kind of put his stamp on this program for one of the most consistent programs in 4A? And then at 10, the Sinton Pirates, a team that we're very high on down there in the coast.
You need to, every time we talk about Sinton, we need to say it as if Coach Troutman was saying it. Sinton!
There it is, the 4A Division 2 preseason top 10 according to Dave Campbell's Texas football, the official rankings of the Texas high school football, the rankings for the Associated Press. We're very proud of that. But TexasFootball.com/rankings is where you can find the rankings all year long. Of course, next time we do this, we'll talk about 3A, 2A, 1A, and the private schools. So make sure you put that on your Palm Pilot. We're Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on Texas Football. No, we're not. I gotta
Drink.
Really. Let's just community coffee. We're Texas Football Today. We're here twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays, here on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Speaking of TexasFootball.com, hope you go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe to become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber. We'll mail you the 2024 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football if you don't have one. But more importantly, here's my pitch. Do you like sports?
Yes.
Do you like watching sports?
Yes.
Well, then why don't you go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe, become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber, and get a year of Dave Campbell's Texan Live, where you can watch almost 2,000 live sporting events across the state of Texas. I'm a simple man. I'm a simple sales guy. I'm not a simple sales guy. I'm not a sales guy at all. But anyway, TexasFootball.com.
You're just simple.
That's true. TexasFootball.com/subscribe to become Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber. Helps make this show possible, if that is helpful,
yeah,
if that makes sense to you. TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Coming up here in just a moment, we'll hear from the head coach of the top 10 Cibolo Steele Knights. Coach David Saenz talks with Matt Stepp. But first, a word from these valued partners.
I feel like bustin' loose, bustin' loose. Come on, get on up. Oh yeah, get on up. Bustin' loose when you wanna sing. Bustin' loose, baby, do your thing. Talking about bustin' loose, yeah.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Potter, Executive Director of Be Well Texas. Too many people are struggling alone these days, and alcohol and drug deaths are increasing. We started Be Well Texas to offer high-quality, science-based addiction treatment and recovery services anywhere, even at home. We provide compassionate, caring support virtually or in person. In many cases, there is no cost for treatment if you don't have insurance. Really. Welcome to Be Well Texas. We're glad you're here.
Wing is the largest residential drone delivery provider in the world, delivering to your home in less than 30 minutes. Order using an app just like other popular delivery services, and Wing's automated drone takes care of the rest. It's fast, safe, and sustainable, and it's now delivering to parts of Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. You can learn more at wing.com/TexasFootball. Again, that's wing.com/TexasFootball.
Born and bred in Texas hits a little different, as it should. Texas loves doing business with fellow Texans. VCR now takes its Texas roots as seriously as its many partnerships with schools and universities around the state. It's also why we're so proud to promote our brand in the pages of the Texas Bible. Dave Campbell.
Matt Stepp, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, back here at the Texas High School Coaches Association and Convention in beautiful San Antonio, Texas. Here with a guy I didn't have to drive very far to the convention, the head coach of the Cibolo Steele Knights, Coach David Saenz. Coach, appreciate you taking a few minutes to chat with us.
I appreciate you inviting me on.
Absolutely, Coach. And, you're one of the last year, you guys were the last team in the Alamo City standing, had a great year. You go 13-2, get all the way to the state semifinals. And I feel like it was one of those things last year where Steele for so long had been really a state power, and I don't want to say you dipped a little bit. You had some years where maybe that you didn't have as deep a playoff runs as you liked, but last year you kind of reestablished yourselves as a contender, not only for the Region 4 title, but potentially a state title contender. How good was that to get that program that I know is so close to your heart back up into the conversation statewide?
It was a huge part, and that's what we talked about as a staff. And at the end of the year when we did our, just a self-reflection of how the season went is, it had been, I think, 6-7 years since we had made it to a semifinal, and to get back and for our kids to experience that, and then with the guys that we have back for their senior year this year, that's going to pay dividends for us, in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, you went to you made that deep playoff run with a team that you have a lot of juniors and a lot of guys who are coming back, and now being a guy who's coached on state championship teams and teams that played in state championship games, those deep, this as well as anyone, those deep playoff run games are different. The games in December are a lot different. Now those guys that are coming back have that experience in December and can pass that on to the younger guys. And you can't put a value on it, can you?
No, you can't, because when you get to that level, the talent's either going to be equal or they're going to have more talent than you. And you got to understand that as a team, you can't make those mental mistakes. You can't make those pre-snap mistakes. You got to make sure you're playing with confidence, because anybody that you're going to play with, 4th, 5th, 6th round is going to be extremely talented. So that was a huge part for our guys to go out and see that it's a whole different mentality when you get to the especially the Final Four and then the Final Two.
Sure. Now let's look. Looking now we're here at coaching school. Obviously, it's a great event. It seems like I don't know how it could get bigger, but it seems to get bigger and bigger every year. And for me, it feels bigger when it's in San Antonio. It's such a great place to host this event. how nice is it to have this convention right in your backyard?
Oh, I love it, and I know our coaches love it. You can come out, you get to network a little bit, see coaches you haven't seen in a long time, and then I get to sleep in my own bed. So
there you go.
That's a plus. Being able to get home and then follow my normal routine. But we love it here. We know it's been. I think I talked to one of our coaches that works on the staff here. I think they're expecting like 18,000.
Yeah, I heard possibly 18,000. It's great. It's unbelievable.
That's huge, and that's awesome for our association.
And you walk through here. Do you wish the district would just give you a blank check and just kind of come around to all the vendors and just buy whatever you want? A lot of great stuff here.
There's no doubt. There's top of the line. You name it, they got it. And
a lot of toys, right?
I wish they would give me a blank check.
A couple of off-season things I want to talk to you about. First off, let's talk about realignment a little bit. Not a ton of changes for you guys, but a couple of modifications there. I mean, overall, what is your take on the new district? Any surprises for you, or did you kind of as you expected?
I guess one of the surprises was maybe Buda Johnson getting in there, but I'm glad we got 7 instead of 6, because finding that fifth non-district
games is tough.
Was a hassle. But our district's always tough. You got Judson, Clemens, Canyon. They're all extremely well coached.
Sure.
And our staff, the way we set up our preseason schedule was because of that, and we want to try to make sure we have all our weaknesses, get those wrinkles out, so that when we get to district, we're rolling on all cylinders. Because if not, the coaches and the athletes are good enough to make you pay for those things.
Absolutely. And then UIL, the NCAA put in the rule about allowing the use of sideline technology or technology in the press box and those kind of things. How does that impact you guys? Have you kind of figured that out yet, or is it kind of a learning experience?
We've been talking, some different systems that we have that we could put into place, and I think it's going to be a week by week, stadium by stadium. It's going to be trial by error and things like that. But I think it's a huge part, and it can help. And that's what we talked about as a district, as we talked about as a staff, is we want to make sure that we give our kids every opportunity to be successful, and our coaches to put our kids in the opportunity to be successful. And so we're looking at every avenue we can to make sure that we have those advantages.
And I guess in 6A stadiums in a metro area like San Antonio, it might not be as big of a deal, but it might get dicey in some of those 2A schools out west.
Exactly.
No internet, no cell service. Like, how do you get that to work?
Right.
So it'll be really interesting to see how that kind of matures as that rule goes into place.
Yes.
Now, we talked about last year, you guys making the semifinals, and it's not like you guys don't have a target on your back locally, because you guys have been a perennial power in the area for a long time. But do you feel like after last year's run, have you told your kids, hey, if we're not getting everyone's best shot last year, we're definitely, that target's grown a little bit because we had such a good year, and you guys have a lot of talent back, a lot of players that people statewide know about. Do you feel, is that one of the things you have to tell your kids, hey, we're going to get everybody's best shot each and every week, and we got to be ready to play?
Yeah, we would tell those kids that obviously this offseason, and then it comes, from being hunted to being the hunter to being hunted.
Sure.
And you're going to get everybody's best shot. Everybody's going to circle that game, and you can make somebody's season by getting beat or not playing well. So our focus is taking it week by week, making sure that we're playing our best football the later we go on in the season, trying to get those puzzle pieces in the right spot. I know we got 9 back on offense. We'll have a few there. We got 3 or 4 back on defense that we're going to have to, the pieces are there. They just haven't had a whole lot of experience playing on Friday night. So,
sure.
As the season goes on, we'll get those pieces in the right spot and hopefully stay healthy and make a run.
And those pieces, playing that, you mentioned the non-district schedule, playing that non-district schedule helps you kind of figure out, okay, these puzzle pieces may not work in this situation, or we need to switch some things around. Your philosophy of non-district scheduling has always been to play really good teams, and I'm assuming it's to say, hey, we want somebody to expose our weaknesses in non-district, so we have time to clean it up before the playoffs. Talk about your non-district slate a little bit and tell us who you guys have lined up. Yeah. I know it's a gauntlet.
Yeah, we start off with Liberty Hill, which is been having nightmares since that game was scheduled. Having to defend the slot T, and they do such a great job of it. And
there's no one that runs it better than them.
Nobody runs better
at that pace, and it's really hard to stop.
And so that's our week 1. Then we go to Reagan, which is always a power here in San Antonio as well. Sure. Then we got Brandeis, same thing with those guys, and then we finish up with Westlake.
Yeah.
And that's going to be those 4 games are going to be big tests for us, and I know we're excited as a staff to anytime you get to play in those type of games, it's a great feeling, and our kids they love playing in those types of games. And after seeing last year, you played Dripping Springs in the Dome, you played Summer Creek at Baylor, in those types of situations, and you say the pressure, but you got to put your kids in those situations sometimes in order to see how they're going to handle it. And then they don't handle it well, you address it. They handle it well, you address it in the positive way too.
Sure. Look at, you mentioned 9 starters back on the offensive side of the ball, a few pieces on the defense. Looking at your team in 2024, I've never heard a coach say he has too many offensive or defensive linemen. So I know trying to build depth in those positions is probably key. Are there any position groups that maybe some young guys are still battling that you're looking, hey, when we get fall camp going, we want to see how these guys perform?
Oh yeah, our on defense, our linebacker core is going to be all brand new. So we got guys competing for spots there that are, they're going to get reps, throughout the 2-a-day session. They got reps throughout the spring and coming into the preseason and district. It's competition. The best guys are going to play. Same thing with the secondary. We got to find a safety and a corner. And again, we got guys that we know can do it. We just got to get them under the lights.
Sure.
And that's a whole different situation. Right? Playing on a Thursday sub-varsity game to a Friday night is you can't explain the difference between the two.
Line up on a Friday night against a receiver from Westlake or Brandeis or Reagan is a different ball game, right? When the band's playing and everything else, right?
No doubt. And then our last, on offense, we're tight end H-back is the guy that we had previously. He did a tremendous job for 2 years. That's a lot of that makes our offense go.
Sure.
It's the unsung heroes that get you lined up correctly, make sure that they're knowing all the motions and all that good stuff that's a part of our offense. And so that's a puzzle piece that we're looking to fill too.
Final question for you, Coach. Last year you guys were the last team again in the Alamo City standing. And I know there's a lot of pride, and I know when as teams in San Antonio start to go, in the playoffs, teams make deep runs, the whole city gets behind them. Do you guys take pride in that, and do you feel like trying to there's a little bit of a chip on your shoulder? Hey, we want to get San Antonio back to playing for a state championship, and Dallas and Houston have had some good runs, and Austin, it's our time now. Is that something you guys take some pride in?
We do. We take a tremendous amount of pride in we want to be the best in our district. We want to be the best in the city. We want to be the best in the region. We want to be the best in the state. And anytime that you are the last team in San Antonio, you want to make the city. You want to make the city of Cibolo, SCUC. We want to make
210 proud.
210 proud.
Yeah,
that's a goal that our kids, our leadership council, our team, our staff, that we've continued to talk about this offseason.
Well, Coach, appreciate your time. We'll let you get back to visiting all these vendors and making the rounds here at coaching school. We appreciate it as always.
Man, I just want to say I appreciate all y'all do for Texas high school sports.
Thanks,
I know you guys do a tremendous amount for high school football, but they're also branching out to other sports, and there's a lot of great student athletes in the Texas high schools that need to be they didn't be, the light needs to be shined on them.
Yeah, get a little platform for them, right?
You guys do a tremendous job of that. I appreciate
Coach,
that.
we appreciate it. Thanks so much. We'll let you get your magazine and get you some reading material getting out of here. We appreciate it. And good luck in 2024. We'll see you down the road.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Coach.
There he is, David Saenz, head coach of the Cibolo Steele Knights, the number 10 team in Class 6A to start the year, according to Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Excited to see what they do when they open up their season next week against fellow top 10 team, Liberty Hill.
Yeah, that's a banger of a
fun matchup. The top 10 matchup to kick off the season in two very disparate styles, too, which will make that a lot of fun. We appreciate Coach David Saenz hopping on with us at the THSCA Coaching School and Convention. Let's go over to Ashley Pickle for America's second favorite segment. Final thoughts.
Coming up tomorrow, ROF. The whole college crew bringing you college content. I'm going to be honest, I don't know what they're talking about. But
I never know what they're doing in there.
Mom, the meatloaf. I never know what she's doing in there. But noon tomorrow, ROF get geared up for the college football season, which is also quickly approaching.
Republic of Football is what ROF stands for. Every podcast is somebody's first, but
if you don't know,
then what are you even doing here?
Shame.
Exactly right. Anyway, make sure you clock in for that tomorrow at noon. A little college football talk coming your way here and tomorrow at noon. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at TCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks again to David Saenz of the Cibolo Steele Knights for being our guest. For Ashley Pickle, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please come get your Player of the Year trophy. We'll see you Thursday on Texas Football Today.